With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. The DCEU has been in this weird state of, I guess, flux for a while now. Ever since Justice League failed to kind of connect in the way that they wanted it to, the entire future of the DCEU has been up in I don't know, up. Everything's up in the air. Everything's up in question. You know, are they moving away from the connected universe? You know, are they moving away from the DCEU and they're just trying to create DC movies now that are kind of maybe marginally connected? And that could be the case because they realize that they maybe bit off more than they can chew, and instead of dealing with those consequences and trying to work within them, they're just trying to backtrack, which might actually be the basis for this particular story right here, where it says Joaquin Phoenix is in talks to play the Joker in Todd Phillips' standalone movie. And this is supposed to be like a more of a prequel Joker story compared to what we saw from Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. So it's a little interesting, but Joaquin Phoenix could, I think, definitely pull it off. Now, it says here that Joaquin Phoenix is in talk to play the Crown Prince of Crime in Warner Brothers and Todd Phillips' untitled Joker origin movie. While the studio negotiations are not yet underway, Phillips has made it clear that Phoenix is the top choice to star, and sources now tell Variety that after thinking it over, Phoenix has agreed to the role. Warner Brothers had no comment. Of course, they're not going to until there's an official release. Now, Phillips is on board to co-write and direct the movie. Phillips had met with Phoenix before the new year and was just waiting for the studio's go-ahead. Insiders stress that Jared Leto, who starred in Suicide Squad as a Joker, is still on board as a character in the DC universe, and that this Phoenix has no effect on what happens with Leto's character in future DC films. And that is just... I'm sorry, I can't get behind that. I can't get behind that. I understand if they want to tell an origin story or something. Like, I get that, but it's like when they're like spent 5 years basically building, you know, a cinematic universe or an extended universe, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know, it's like you fucked up and you should be able to fix this, but now you're just going your own way, and it's going to cause a rift in the fans. Now, there are people out there that will definitely say this is for the best. The DCEU movies have sucked, so on and so forth, and this is fine. I disagree. I happen to like all of them, but I think that trying to create that sprawling, almost living, breathing cinematic world is not out of the realm of possibility. They just have to really figure this out. And making a Joker origin movie that no one is asking for, ultimately, is just a sign of desperation. But at the same time, DC is also leaning hard into its villains, with Lobo movie being announced, you know, that Michael Bay might be directing that one. That came out. And, you know, this one talking about the Joker movie and Harley Quinn getting her own movie. I mean, they're dealing a lot with the villains. Deadshot's rumored to get his own film. However, that could be all over the place. You know, and so Deathstroke even, right? So the thing is, the reason why Warners will focus more on the villains is because, well, let's face it, the villains are really, really, really well loved. And they know that they could tell villain side stories when Marvel has really crappy villains, because Marvel's portrayal of villains is never gives us enough meat to grip onto with them, with the exception of, I'm hearing Killmonger and Black Panther was good. You know, Loki's been a good one, but he's also kind of been a half and half sort of thing. So it says here that the movie would fall under a yet-to-be-announced new banner of DC Comics, which would give the studio the opportunity to expand the canon of the iconic comic book characters with unique story angles that aren't included in its current cinematic universe. So think of like Star Wars, or Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or Solo, a Star Wars story. It's just ancillary side content. Stop trying to copy Disney, man. Stop trying to copy Disney. I'm saying, just, you know, it's just, it gets so annoying because it's like I just want to go in there and like ask them why, you know, and they're going to be like, money. Jared Leto most recently played the Joker in Suicide Squad and is likely to reprise a role in Suicide Squad 2, but will not be featured in this film. Rumors circulated that Leonardo DiCaprio was the first person approached to star in the Phillips standalone film, although that didn't pan out. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that. You know, like Heath Ledger as the Joker was one of those casting choices at first where I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then you get to you watch the movie and he did a good job, but I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio is able to fully detach himself from being Leonardo DiCaprio. Joaquin Phoenix is very good at just being absorbed into a role. So if you wanted my honest choice between the two, yes. And Joaquin Phoenix got snubbed to play Doctor Strange a couple years ago, so there's that as well. So Scott Silver will join Phillips as a co-writer on the film, which will delve into what it took for the Joker to become the mastermind criminal. Sources say the story will take place in the 80s and will have more of the look of a gritty crime drama than a comic book movie. Now, isn't Martin Scorsese also involved in the like production side of this film, which was, you know, like wasn't the original rumor like it was going to be like Goodfellas or something like that, or like some take on that, or Casino or something. I could see them trying to go back and doing like a dark comic, gritty crime drama from the 1980s about how the Joker became the Joker and the mastermind, right? But at the same time, going back to the 80s, you would have to have Batman, right? Like you would have to have Batman. He would have to somehow be involved. And Affleck, if we're going off of current times, wasn't, you know, like that's this the thing. It's kind of like there is no Batman without the Joker, essentially, right? Like, or there's no Joker without the Batman, it feels like. But then again, different comic origins, or, you know, whatever. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. They are kind of like each other's, you know, the opposite side of the same coin, or just different ends of the spectrum. They complete each other, sort of. So I don't know what they're planning here. This isn't a movie that ultimately anybody is truly asking for. But that being said, it's Todd Phillips, who I love, and I like Joaquin Phoenix. And so even though I'm kind of angry at the way things are going, and I'm angry at what they're doing, I'm also totally down to see the freaking movie, because I'm just a fanboy.